Austin Rivers decided that he was going to get on Pat McAfee Show and say that he could take 30 NBA players and throw them into the NFL, but you cannot take 30 NFL players and put them in the NBA. JJ Watt responded saying that Rivers right now wasn't playing in either, so go ahead and try it. This, of course, has sparked a huge debate in the media. Rodney, is Austin Rivers right in this really weird take?
1000% he is correct. There are Hall of Fame football players who did not play a down of collegiate football, but were college basketball athletes, right? Basketball is such a more of a fluid sport. And in these times, especially with these very light NFL rules that prohibit you from hitting players, taking their knees out, there's just so much more translatable skills from basketball to football than the opposite direction. I mean, I have a list here, right? You got Antonio Gates, Jimmy Graham, Julius Peppers was always a football player, but going to throw him on the list. Darren Fells, Tony Gonzalez. There's a kid, Quentin Rollins, right? He played 4 years of college basketball in the MAC conference. In his 1 year of playing college football, he was the defensive player of the year in the conference, went on to play in the NFL. I'm just saying the better, more natural, fluid athlete is in basketball, and that translates to the NFL time and time again. What? Talk to me.
Let's talk about flopping. The way that these NBA players are, oh my God, they fall on the floor, you tap them, you think they're going to get hit lights out on a football field?
Wait, have you seen Patrick Mahomes back there? Have you seen some of the times that he's been tapped and he flies to try to get roughing the passer?
We're talking about, I think that the NBA players that would go to football would probably be like tight ends, because isn't that what LeBron played?
He was a receiver. He was a receiver, but he would have transitioned to tight end. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Listen, sir. I can see them doing it, but the way that they don't want to be touched on the basketball court, they would get like lit up on a football field.
Nobody is lighting anybody up anymore in football. That is not unless you're a running back, unless you're a D lineman, like sure, but by and large, we're talking about the NBA athletes, basketball athletes going and playing positions that are going to be on the outer banks of a football field. We're talking about receivers, we're talking about tight ends. You can't just blindside and blast a guy coming across the middle anymore. They got rid of that. You can't even touch a receiver down the field. You can't even hand fight anymore. So of course, people who are naturally athletically gifted are going to have the advantage on the outside. It's just like when you have those track guys who transition into football and they take off downfield. Of course, if I can run my full 4.2 speed without being touched, I'm a break daylight. That's just what it is.
So you're trying to say that you don't feel like there are any football players that can translate to basketball, because I feel like we've seen it. Seen it.
No. So the thing with basketball,
CJ Stroud was a basketball player.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And he was really good. He was really good. I give credit to that, right? But the fact of the matter is, like, what position is CJ Stroud playing in an NBA game? He's the size of an NBA point guard. You mean to tell me that he's going to be able to compete with Ja Morant, with Jalen Brunson, with the Kyrie Irving? Like, the level of skill that it takes to time and time again put the ball in the basket is just far different than dropping back maybe 6% of the time and delivering a pass downfield. I give respect to the fact you have to read defenses and quarterbacks are the most difficult position to play in the entire game of sports. But there's no way that you can say because a guy is athletic, he can play basketball. The game is just so much more nuanced. But in football, there are guys whose position literally says athlete. It's ATH next to their name.
Okay, but that means that they can play multiple positions, so they are more valuable. But what I'm saying is, I think that the only difference is the height situation. You have guys that are going to be 6'9" trying to play football, so that's weird. Just on the other end, shorter guys tend to play football. They're more stockier. They would not be able to be successful in the National Basketball Association. I understand that, but I'm saying I think that the athleticism is they're still neck and neck, I think.
No, I think there's a lot more fluid athletes in basketball, right? The muscle definition is different. NFL players are bulky. At times they can be clunky. And that's not all, of course. Nothing I'm saying is applicable to all NFL athletes, but by and large, the physical structure of NBA players is just more translatable to a wide variety of sports.
Okay.
Let us know what you think. Who's better suited to cross over into another sport? Is it NBA players to the NFL or NFL players to the NBA?